Liberty Media RL Radio Station. Now live cue music now.
Oh man, we got an interesting show tonight. Got a lot of things I want to talk about. Of course, the usual scary AI stuff. Bunch of really stupid news. Well, not really stupid, I guess, but scary news. And some offline internet access. But we're going to start it all out with a brand new world premiere of the Byte Rebel personas Rock Your Freedom.
Facial recognition confirmed, suspect identified, freedom terminated. Yo, they're watching, they're tracking, your life's on the screen. Big tech's got your soul a digital dream. Palantir's claws in the government's grip, sucking up your data, watch your freedom slap. I'm just a man living paycheck to pain, caught in their web, now they're spinning my name. A deep fake vid, yeah, they frame my face. Now I'm cuffed in the dark, lost in this case. Innocent or guilty, man, that's just a lie. When AI's the jury and the truth pushed aside. Palantir's got eyes in the sky, no shame. Data mining my life, turning hope to a flame. They're in your phone, your text, your late night calls. Every click, every post, they're scaling the walls. Big text the judge, the feds pull the strings while the free man's voice gets clipped like wings. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. Truth is my weapon, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. They say I robbed a bank, but I was holding that night. Deep fake me staring down the camera's light. Pixelated lies, man, they doctored the proof. Now I'm facing a cage for their version of truth. Cops don't care, they just follow the code. AI says I'm guilty, so the gavel's bestowed. Palantir's watching every move that I make. Surveillance state's a snake, and it's ready to take. They're in your apps, your DMs, your dreams. Selling your life to the corporate schemes. The feds and big tech, yeah, they're holding the whip. But I'm spitting this fire till the table flip. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. The truth is my weapon, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. In a cell cold steel where my thoughts collide. No lawyer, no justice, just a system that lied. My face on their screens, but it ain't my crime. While Palantir's algorithms keep ticking my time. They're mining your data, every step that you take, every word that you speak, every choice that you make. This ain't just my fight, it's a war for us all. When the government's boot makes the innocent fall. Yo, America, wake up, see the chains on your wrist. Big tech's got your freedom in a digital fist. Peaceful rebellion, yeah, we'll fight with our voice. Take back what's ours, cause we still got a choice. They're watching your kids, your wife, your home. Trolls in the sky, you're never alone. Every click's a confession, every post a sin. They're building a prison you're already in. But I see the spark in the hearts of the free. A fire that burns for our liberty. But I feel the pulse in the hearts that resist. A spark of defiance that'll burn through the fist. Fuck their lies. We're the rebels with the fire in our eyes. They can't own us, they can break our will. Rise up, people, let's give them hell. Back in court, but the deck's been stacked. AI's the witness and the truth's been hacked. My life's on trial, but I'm holding my ground. Screaming for justice, but it's nowhere to be found. They're watching you too, every move in the scope. Palantir's panopticon, strangling your hope. But I'm spitting these bars for the ones who still fight for the dream of a nation that's bathed in the light. This ain't just my story, it's the spark of a flame. A call to the people. people to reclaim your name. Stand up, speak out, let your voices collide with the rebels of freedom, with truth on our side. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. The truth is my weapon. Wait on, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. The truth is my weapon. Wait on, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. The gavel falls, but the fight ain't done. They locked up my body, but my soul's up my soul. Will I break free or be crushed by their game? The truth's still out there and it's calling my name. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. The truth is my weapon. Wait on, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. Knocked down and broken, but I still rise. The truth is my weapon. Wait on, no more lies. Rock your freedom, rock your freedom. Suspect status. Unresolved cases still pending.
Uncle Bonehead is on RLM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
That Rock Your Freedom song, that's so new. I haven't even done the artwork for it yet. Excuse me. I'm feeling like RFK Jr. here. My voice is slowly fading away today. Don't know why. So anyways, yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about some offline internet access, some scary news, scary AI news, and a really important thing I'm going to touch on just tonight, but the show tomorrow is going to be mostly about it. A huge project in the open source world has been forked, and it's both a symptom of the times and something that needed to happen. So anyways, it could end up affecting pretty much the entire computer and tech industry ecosystem, this fork. So we'll talk about that later. But right now I wanted to talk about some offline internet access. The reason I thought of this be a good time to talk about it was because of we're basically the U.S. is being dragged into a third world war because Israel and everybody thinks here in the U.S. thinks that we gotta fight on behalf of Israel and go kill kids because Israel wants to kill kids. And it's regardless of what you think and what you were taught when you were growing up, the Israel that is existing today, the state of Israel, is not the Israel that's in the Bible. So all you God-fearing Christian people cheering on Israel killing kids everywhere in the Middle East, you got the wrong God. This Israel is the state of Israel, and it is not the one that you're supposed to be defending. Just so you know. But this is going to turn into a big, huge ass problem. And I think it's going to be the one that's going to take the internet off the planet. So it's good to have a little backup, like an offline internet access. And what that is, what I mean by that is basically an internet in the box. It is a little local server, whether it's a Raspberry Pi, an old laptop. I think it can even run on an old phone, old Android phone. But basically what you're doing is setting up a little local hotspot that your family, your neighbors, your neighborhood, even your small village or small town, if you got enough, power, they can all connect to and still have access to information for homeschooling your kids, recipe ideas, how to do stuff. I mean, you can host videos on it, like download videos from YouTube and host them on there. How-to videos, coding videos. You can even host your own Olama instant on it. You can have your own Olama on there, and people can go and talk to your local AI and chat with it to find out how to do stuff. So, like I said, internet in a box. This is internet-in-a-box.org. And it's designed to run on a Raspberry Pi, $35 Raspberry Pi. You can also get, a bigger one that's already assembled and ready to go for like $60 or so. But it's when you install it onto the Raspberry Pi, it's all set up for you, except for like the Olama thing, the AI. But they've also got a version of it that is just for like medical stuff, like hospitals, a local hospital. This stuff is set up basically already for people in areas that don't have the internet. There's like, deep parts of Mexico and the Congo and the Amazon, areas like that. You could take this in there, set it up, boom, you gave a village access to a little mini internet, and it's got pretty much everything on it. You could download the entire Wikipedia and put it on this thing. It's absolutely amazing. There's several different versions of it out there. This is just one of them. But I'll try to do a video version of this with, sometime this week and throw it up over on RLM Video and Blurt Media. Maybe even YouTube too. I don't know. But, yeah, there's just an app called Kiwix. You can install this on just your home computer. It doesn't have to be on the internet in the box. You can install it on your home computer. I've got it installed on my other box here, and I can access it from either machine. But I've got the entire Wikipedia downloaded on it already, and I don't even have to get online to go find stuff out. This is cool as hell. There's another site called Rachel.worldpossible.org, and it's got more content that you could put on your internet in the box or your second computer or whatever. It's got content from Khan Academy, Radio Lab, TED, the TED Talks, Wikibooks, Project Gutenberg, Mediline Plus, CK212, GCFLearnFree.org, Calibre, Scratch. There's a ton of stuff that you could put on. there, and you just know what's going to happen. I mean, not know what's going to happen, but you know it's there for you when you need it. So, yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about in this part was called the No Phone Home. Is the privacy rebellion digital IDs didn't see coming. Now, this is from Reclaim the Net. It says the digital ID standard behind mobile IDs bakes in remote data access that governments can quietly activate. Privacy activists are pushing back. Welcome to a new privacy-first initiative challenging the digital identity status quo, urging a sharp turn away from the surveillance state-ready infrastructure embedded in mobile driver's licenses. The campaign, called No Phone Home, brings together a broad alliance of civil liberties groups, privacy experts, technologists, lawmakers, and public officials who are resisting the ways digital IDs comprise people's rights. Which, by the way, I had to renew my license earlier this week. And, yeah, that was first. I had to downgrade from CDL because I can't drive truck anymore. But I've got the chauffeur's license. That's still $35 freaking dollars here in the Michigan. And CDL is with if you've got hazmat, it's like $75. Wow. Just to get permission to go make money. Anyways, I digress. What's fueling the campaign is concern over how mobile driver's licenses, increasingly adopted in the U.S. and abroad, are built atop a technical framework that allows them to silently transmit data back to issuing authorities. While this function may not be active by default, it exists. And that, privacy advocates argue, is a serious vulnerability. Yes, it is. Even if unused, the architecture allows for data to be sent back to government servers. It eventually will be, the campaign statement warns. That issue is a largely under-the-radar international standard, ISO IEC 18013-5, 2021. This spec has become the foundation for digital ID systems used in several U.S. states and internationally, including those compatible with Apple Wallet and the Google Wallet. It mandates that mobile IDs support server-side retrieval of data, a feature that can open the door to mass tracking. Digital identity tools were initially developed inside corporations where privacy wasn't a major concern. The campaign is making a political and ethical case. The core principle is simple. Digital credentials, like physical ones, should not expose a person's movements or behaviors. While many states have promised not to use the tracking features built into digital ID standards, this is a policy decision, not a technical safeguard. Like, they've promised not to use them. Sorry, no. Indeed, a state government recently realized it had mistakenly left the tracking capability active in its mobile ID app and only turned it off after the fact. That incident has added urgency to the campaign's message. The concern extends beyond physical spaces. With digital IDs increasingly used for online age verification, privacy advocates worry about how web activity could be logged and linked back to individuals. In Louisiana, for example, residents must verify their age using the LA Wallet app to access adult content online. Other standards like OpenID Connect face similar criticism, though different in design. OIDC also supports silent data transmissions. ISO's structure in particular favors verifiers, businesses, and agencies verifying identity, rather than individuals trying to safeguard their privacy. While digital driver's licenses remain optional and relatively uncommon today, their growth is accelerating. More states are rolling out digital wallets, and countries in the European Union and elsewhere are moving quickly toward official digital identity systems. We are at a critical moment. If we don't demand safeguards now, we're going to end up with digital identity systems that fundamentally undermine privacy. It's very true. I don't think people really pay enough attention to stories like this, because I've got nothing to hide. I've got nothing to worry about. It's not about whether or not you do, or whether you've got anything to worry about. What if it's your neighbor? What if they don't want to? They don't have to have any reason why to hide it. If you've got nothing to hide, put your bank account access information online. Put it out there. Give it to your friends. Give it to your family. Give it to the people that you don't want to have it. If you've got nothing to hide. I dare you. I double dog dare you. So anyways, that's going to lead us into this song. Comply.
Woke up in a world where freedom's just a myth, suffocated by the lies that they spew with each breath. I see the chains, the ones you can't see. In the name of security, they strip us to our knees. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight. Corporations, they're gods in this digital hell. Big tech's got your data, your life for sale. Government grip, like steel around our throats, telling us to comply while they keep us broke. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight. I wear the mask of rebellion, eyes red like the dawn. Chains on my shoulders, the symbol of the pawn. But I'm no pawn, I'm the rebel. Bite rebel, here to say, we'll burn it down, we'll break the chains, we'll find our fucking way. Keep us in line with their tech, but I see through their screens, it's time to wreck. The system's broken, it's time for a reset. No more compliance, it's time to resist. From the dark web steps to the city's neon light, we'll hack, we'll slash, we'll burn this night. No more bowing, no more silence, we're done. Fuck their control with the uprising, we've just begun. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the will burn this night. No more bowing, no more silence, we're done. Fuck the control-worthy uprising, we've just begun. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight. Fight the fucking fight! You can't comply your way out of tyranny. No matter how you try, they'll never set you free. Clench your fists, scream out, let the rage ignite. In this dystopian nightmare, we fight the fucking fight.
Uncle Bonehead is on RLM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
All right, now we're into the news here. The first one is from theblaze.com. I used to think the Blaze was really good, and they were really good. But here since when Trump was getting blasted and put through the ringer on in the courts, they turned into like this blatant. I mean their bias is showing. I mean, it used to be they would hit the right just as hard as they did the left, but ever since Trump went through his legal battles, they've turned it to blatantly more biased, and they're like a little mini Fox News now, and it's not. Yeah, I like some of the articles and some of the stuff that they write, but they're not exactly being level-headed as much as they used to. Because, I mean, this was posted on June 9th, written by Andrew Chapados. And it's the headline is, "Who's stealing your data, the left or the right?" and the headline should read, "The government is stealing your data." Not a left or right thing. It is the government. It doesn't matter who's in charge. I hate to break it to them, but yeah, the red and the blue, they both hate you. Anyways, it reads a bombshell report from the New York Times confused the federal government of working with data processing company Palantir to develop a database of Americans' private information. That's like everybody kind of knew that already. The idea has been criticized as a way for the government to compile sensitive data against naysayers, detractors, or immigrants who could get the boot over their politics. Another interpretation is that the government is simply sharing data between agencies to make processes more efficient, like streamlining tax data or locating illegal immigrants. Okay, let's get something really clear and really straight here. It's not like the different departments and agencies didn't have this information already. They've been getting it from social media, all that. This order that they've now given is for Palantir to assemble all of this data that they've already got and use AI to make it more readable and create a individual database on each individual American. That's what's different, is that they are blatantly trashing the Constitution, not just going around it. They're tearing it up and throwing it into the trash can. It has nothing to do with they didn't have this information before. They had the information, they just didn't have it as tied as easily to each individual person, each individual citizen. That's what this is doing. This is essentially, Google has a profile on all of its users, and they've tracked your history with them all through the years. They know everything you do. They can predict what you're going to be interested in to show you ads to make you buy shit. That's what this is. They are creating a database on each individual person that will allow them to predict who the ones are going to be that are here illegally, number one. Number two, who is most likely to commit a crime, and number three, who is most likely to commit a crime against the current government. So if it's not just because your guy is in control of it and has the keys, doesn't mean that the next guy is going to be your guy. And I don't think Trump actually knows exactly what he's pushing here. I don't think he really realizes it. I think he's just looking at it from, he's got the blinders on and he wants to get rid of the illegal aliens. I get that, but this ain't how you do it. Because what you're doing is setting up for something far worse in the future. Down here a little bit, it says, a lot of the data enlisted would come as no surprise to the average person, given that his social security number or criminal history is already firmly in the government's purview. However, the issue arises with the company Palantir, founded by Trump-supporting mega donor Peter Thiel, gaining access to all this data and compiling it through government contracts. As Newsweek reported, Trump may have allegedly tapped Palantir to create a database of Americans' private information. Oh, come on, you stupid pop-up ads. Oh, now it wants me to unlock this article. Fuck you, Blaze. I ain't paying for shit. So we'll move on to the next one. This is from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Criminalizing masks at protests is wrong. Okay. My first problem. What does masks at a protest in real life have to do with the Electronic Frontier Foundation? You guys are supposed to be talking about digital stuff. But they do have a point. So, but I'm still trying to figure out why Matthew Garcia and Adam Schwartz wrote this article, and it's a relatively short article at that, and it took two of them to write it. This is about when Trump said arresting people in face masks now. But the truth is, whether you are afraid of catching an airborne illness from your fellow protesters or you are concerned about reprisals for police or others for expressing your political opinions in public, that's why you're wearing the mask. You're not wearing the mask because you're afraid of the flu. So don't pretend. I know you're a left-leaning rag there, EFF, but still, come on. At least be honest. Moreover, the wearing of a mask is a perfectly legitimate surveillance self-defense practice during a protest. There has been a massive proliferation of surveillance camera networks, face recognition technology, and databases of personal information. There is also a long law enforcement's history of harassing and surveilling people for publicly criticizing or opposing law enforcement practices and other government policies. What's more, non-governmental actors may try to identify protesters in order to retaliate against them, for example, by limiting their employment opportunities. Okay, I'm just going to go out on a limb here real quick. I get the whole reason for wearing a mask at a protest. But nobody has a problem with a protest until violence happens. 90% of the time, the protests turn violent once the police show up, and we're going to get into that in another article here later. But, yeah, it's, let's just go ahead and get into that article right now and find out what tab that's on. Here it is. Florida sheriff makes clear to radicals that riots won't go their way. We will kill you. This is on the Blaze as well. Read by Joseph McKinnon, June 13th. That's today. Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey made abundantly clear to radicals during a press conference on Thursday that Florida handles rioters a whole lot differently than authorities on the West Coast, underscoring that violence will be met with violence and the odds are not in radicals' favor. Sheriff Ivey, flanked by Florida's Attorney General James Youthmeyer, noted at the outset that Americans are moving to the Sunshine you say that 3 times as fast, Sunshine State in record numbers, in part because they know their families will be safe here. Their businesses will be safe. They won't have to contend with what they're seeing in places like L.A., New York, and Chicago. Ivey indicated this coveted safety is the result, in part, of Florida law enforcement's approach to crime and the state's AG for law enforcement. Youthmeyer announced Thursday that violence and intimidation against U.S. immigration and customs enforcement officers will not be tolerated, and indicated he had directed the Florida Highway Patrol to partner with federal law enforcement to ensure that Florida-based federal agents doxxed by radicals have a direct line of communication with local FHP leadership. The Florida AG also instructed FHP to have troopers conduct routine welfare checks on doxxed agents' residences to ensure their safety and the safety of their family. Okay, so much to unpack there. Okay, he's saying that if you show up at a protest, they will kill you. Number one. Number two, he slides into talking about doxing Florida-based federal agents. unless they're like undercover, and if their names are on a public website or listed publicly somehow, that's not doxing because it's already out there. Just so that you know. And I'm not one to call for violence. Violence is always the last resort. And as that song that we played before the news, comply, you can't comply your way out of tyranny. Just keep that in mind here. It's one thing to show up to a public protest. Be peaceful. And yeah, if you show up wearing a mask because you want to thwart the surveillance cameras or keep your face hidden to have people come back at you at a later date, or to do like they did with the January 6th supposedly insurrection. The insurrection where nobody shows up with a fucking gun. Yeah. They locked all those people up. They used surveillance to lock an 80-some-year-old woman up for a year or 2 years, some stupid shit like that. And all she did was just walk in the door that was opened for her by the Capitol Guard, by the way. And they were invited in. And they basically railroaded these people because they had their faces. So if you show up to a protest wearing a mask, you're automatically thought to be a radical troublemaker, and you're watched, okay? There's usually not any violence. Yeah, there's usually some, like, burn a car or something like that. Yeah, that's vandalism. Yeah, get that shit out of there. If you show up to a protest and you see people start doing vandalizing and looting, make them stop, because they're not helping. They're the ones that's causing the big problem. But anyways, I digress. They have this big protest, and then the cops show up. And what do they show up in? Full armor, riot gear, shields, helmets, baseball bats, because some people showed up wearing masks at a protest with some signs. And then that's when the violence gets in, when the cops decide they're going to shut down the protest. So I'm not saying they're all that way, but to have the cops come out here and say that they, like in Florida here, say that they're going to kill you at a protest. If you show up in full armor with military hardware, military tanks, and tear gas, batons, automatic weapons, you show up like that to a peaceful protest and there's no violence, who's in the wrong here? Just remember that every time you see a cop that is flying the Gadsden flag saying "Don't tread on me," keep in mind that cop is the boot that's going to be treading. The police are the military that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights says that you are to keep and bear arms against. There is no, I was just following orders. Everybody has a choice. Even the cops. In the riot gear. They have a choice not to put that riot gear on. They have a choice not to go out and, quote unquote, just do their job. Just keep that in mind. Okay, I gotta play another song. It's just to change. Just to change. See, we did comply. Let's do Code Red. Because it's got kind of the surveillance state type thing going.
This is your future. No voice, no choice. Steel skies bleed rust, the drones hum death. City suffocates, choke on electric breath. Social credit tanked, my voice is a crime. Bank account froze, I'm a slave to the grind. They watch through the walls, eyes in the wire. Every word I spit fuels a digital fire. Starve in the shadows or bow to their throne. Freedom's a ghost, I'm flesh on the bone. Code red, the system's alive. Crawl through the grid just to survive. Code red, they own your soul. Pay with your life, the bell starts to toll. Hunger claws deep, but the stores won't sell. Low score locked out, trapped in this hell. Roof overhead, now that's for the elite. I'm scrapping the gutter, filth under their feet. They ration my air, tax every scream. Nightmares for sale, no room for a dream. A number defines me, a barcode, a cage. The algorithm laughs, feeds on my rage. Code red, the system's alive. Crawl through the grid just to survive. Code red, they own your soul. Pay with your life, the bell starts to toll. Out of line, your credit's erased. Bank drains dry, no food on the plate. They cut the lights, leave you cold in the dark. Every thought's a chain, every word leaves a mark. Neighbor snitch fast for a crumb or a dime. Trust is a corpse, rotting in grime. The cameras blink red, they know where I bleed. Controls in their hands, I'm a glitch in the feed. No escape, the wires bind tight. Synthetic gods rule the endless night. They feast on fear, devour the weak. Humanity's ashes, no future to seek. The screen screams lies, the truth burns cold. We're pawns in their game, bought and sold. Break the chains, they'll crush your skull. In this machine, we're all null. I claw through the ruins, the city's a tomb. Every step track, no space for doom. The rich ride high on towers of glass, while we choke on fumes, drowning in ash. They ration my water, poison my mind. A rebel's a target, extinction's my kind. The score ticks down, I'm marked for the end. In this dystopian cage, no soul to defend. Code red, the system's alive. Crawl through the grid just to survive. Code red, they own your soul. Pay with your life, the bell starts to toll. The sirens wail, the hunters descend. Low score, no mercy, no chance to mend. They drag you to pits where the failures decay. Forgotten, erased, just waste in the gray. I scream to the void, but the void doing hoi doing. The system's a beast, and I'm caught in its stare. Code red burns bright, the end's in sight. No gods, no hope, just eternal night. voice is your future. No voice, no choice. We walk through the neon streets where the shadows whisper secrets of data sold, our lives on screens. We won't kneel to their machines. They think they've got us by the strings, but we're cutting loose, spreading our wings. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Behind the mask, we're more than code. A rebel soul, we overthrow. Tech giants fall, their empires shake. We're the glitch in the matrix, cause we're awake. In the grid we carve our names. We're the spark, we are the flames. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Governments with their iron fist try to control, resist. But we see through their digital lies. Our voices, the anthem of the skies. I won't be just another drone. I'll make their control overthrown. This is more than just a fight. It's a dance in the dark of night. We'll hack the heart of their control. With every beat, we break the mold. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell. Obedience, the chains we wear. Tyranny born from our own fear. Rise up, break the cycle and rebel against the system. Raise some hell.
Okay, go check out thepolicerecord.com. You should just do yourself a favor. Go check it out. It's really cool. It's very cool. So anyways, the House Republicans have revealed their true feelings on the possibility of $5,000 Doge checks going out to the people. House Republicans responded to the idea that money saved from federal cuts could be passed down to the taxpayer. The money would come via cuts recommended by the Department of government efficiency, which included savings from programs under USAID and the Treasury Department. First proposed by investment CEO James Fishback, the Doge dividend checks would total $5,000 if he sent to every taxpayer. However, when approached for comment regarding the possibility of sending the refund checks to the taxpayer, at least 5 Republican members of Congress shot down the idea, with one even claiming it would cause inflation. We can't possibly give the American people their money back. It would cause inflation. I should have laughed, because apparently these guys were smart enough to get elected, and Americans are dumb enough to keep re-electing them. Representative Mark Harris of North Carolina said checks to the public were specifically the problem, not the solution. The problem is that we can't give you your money back. That we won't give you your money back. That's the problem. The problem is you would have control of your money and not us. No, that's not what he said, but that's basically what he is saying. This is his quote. We kind of got in the situation that we're in by sending checks to people. And we got a $36 trillion debt headed towards 37 rapidly. You guys just voted to spend even more. That's a you problem, not an our problem. I digress. It's going to make far more sense for any savings that we find to make sure that we get that debt under control, bend that curve, and make sure that we get our country on a really fiscally sound financial footing. No, I'm sorry, but you're wrong, Mr. Harris. Stop spending fucking money. It's that simple. It's stop spending our grandchildren's money. We are so far into debt that you are fighting and arguing to keep spending money. No. We don't have the money to spend. So stop. Representative Bill Huizenga from Michigan answered similarly, saying the latest, no surprise to us Michiganders up here, saying the latest Republican budget is actually the answer to taxpayers' sakes. The big beautiful bill. The big stupid bill will be stimulative on its own, Huizenga told the Daily Signal. The congressman stated that the, quote, additional cash infusion to folks could potentially be inflationary. However, given the Doge cuts would be money that was already spent, and in most cases being spent, it is unclear how that would happen. Huizenga added, to me, with $36 trillion in debt, the most responsible thing that we can do is supply that to the massive deficit. Okay, picture this. Okay, all you congressmen, everybody in the U.S. Congress, the House and the Senate, I want you guys to close your eyes, clear your mind of everything, and picture this. $36 trillion debt. If you don't spend that money, where is it going to go? Back to the people. It does not belong to you. That's the point. It's not your money to spend. It's the American people's. It was forcefully taken from us under threat of jail. I'm sorry. You feel this way. I really am sorry that you feel this way. But it's not your fucking money. Give it back. Don't spend it. Pretty easy. He then goes on to say, what can we do? And President Trump's great at this, is find creative ways to grow the economy and grow our way out of this while we get a hold of, in Congress, our federal spending that's way out of hand. You're still spending more to get rid of our spending addiction, Cloud told the outlet. Let's focus on tackling our $36 trillion debt while also helping hardworking Americans prosper by making the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts permanent and spending less of their tax dollars, Lee told the Daily Signal. Hold it right there. Taking a drink. Okay, hold it right there. You just quoted the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts. It's been a long standing almost joke, but it's pretty well known for several decades now that the name of these bills have absolutely nothing to do with what's in the bills. So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts are not actually Tax Cuts and Job Acts. See, here's the problem. Government, whether it's federal, state, or local, is not capable of creating jobs. They can only create an environment that is able to allow private citizens to create jobs for other private citizens. The government cannot create jobs. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the Tax Cuts Act is not about tax cuts. It's about spending fucking money. So maybe we should, tell these stupid people to read what they're signing and what they're actually doing. Doge savings coupled with tax cuts will assure Iowans and Americans can keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets while also restoring fiscal sanity and addressing deficit spending, Hinton said. Reporter Elizabeth Troutman Mitchell, who spoke with the Republicans, told Blaze News that the sources she spoke to would, quote, would love to give money back to the taxpayer, end quote, but are more focused on debt spending. They believe the best way to put more money in the wallets of taxpayers is to reduce the national debt. Yeah, that's part of it. But the best way to put more money in the wallets of taxpayers is to stop taking it out. I mean, come on. How fucking stupid do you people think we are? June 6th, Fishback wrote an update on his X page saying the savings Musk promised to the federal government did not come to fruition. The truth is that Elon set expectations that he relayed to the president, me, and the country that he did not come close to fulfilling. The investor still said he was proud of his proposal and that he intended to work with the Donald Trump administration to, quote, return savings to the taxpayers. You keep saying that phrase, return savings to the taxpayers, but I don't think you actually know what that means. I don't think you actually know what that does. Because talking about it and not doing it are two entirely different things. On June 7th, USA Today claimed that any Doge dividend would actually be delivered on a per eligible household basis, which includes only those who pay more taxes than they get back. Let's think that through. since the last whatchamajigger tax change they did when Biden took office, I haven't gotten a tax return. I've paid every year. And I am borderline bottom. I'm at the point of income where I'm not eligible for any help from any government agent, federal or state or local. I make too much money. But I can't afford hardly to buy my medications, and it's a month-to-month ordeal as to whether or not I'm going to keep my house. But yet, they can't give me my $5,000 back. Just the $5,000. I would love to be able to break even on taxes. I would love to have a zero sum. But that's not going to happen. In my adult life, I am more broke now than I was during Trump's first term. And you're going to tell me that you can't give me my money back. USA Today said lower income Americans would not qualify for the return. Does that make any sense to you? The people that need it the most, you're going to hold it from them. You're going to hold their money from them. Their money, not yours. In an accompanying article here, dated yesterday, House narrowly passes the Doge cuts despite Republican defectors. The gravy train is up. Despite a handful of Republican defectors, the House narrowly passed the recessions package on Thursday, which will slash $9.4 billion in spending. That's still a shit ton of money. The recessions package cuts $8.3 billion in foreign aid, including some funds to the U.S. Agency for International Development, and cuts spending to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which uses taxpayer dollars to fund biased media platforms like PBS and NPR. The package passed with a 214 to 212 vote, with 4 Republicans joining 208 Democrats to vote against it. The 4 Republicans were Mark Amodei of Nevada, Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Nicole Maletikas of New York, and Mike Turner of Ohio. It says $9 billion won't solve all of our budget problems, but it's an incredible start. One key vote that secured the Doge cuts passage was from Republican Thomas Massie of Kentucky. Although Massie has bucked his party on several major votes, the fiscal hawk was enthusiastic to support the spending cuts. Just voted for the 2025 Recessions Act, Massie said. These are the first Doge cuts. $9 billion won't solve all our budget problems, but it's an incredible start. Let's cut more. Thank you, Doge. I like Massie and Rand Paul. I think they would be a huge ticket if they decide to run in 2025, 6, 7, 2028. If they were to run, president and vice president ticket, I'd vote for him. Massie I think Massie's probably the strongest willed and most principled member of Congress. And the same with Rand. They definitely hold to their principles no matter what, even if their party says no. I mean, it's pretty bad when Trump wants to primary these two guys because they did not want to pass Trump's big shitty bill. But anyways, I digress. To Massey's point, $9.4 billion in spending cuts is just a drop in the bucket when it comes to the $36 trillion debt. That said, he and other Republicans feel it is a step in the right direction. From the moment NPR CEO exposed herself as a dishonest left-wing activist, I vowed to ensure NPR never gets another cent of taxpayer funding, Republican Rep. Brandon Gill of Texas said. That day is finally here. I applaud my House colleagues for passing this recessions package to defund them entirely. The gravy train is up. So just a little news flash for you there, Mr. Brandon Gill of Texas. NPR and PBS have always been a left-wing activist organization. They are the literal propaganda machine for the left wing and has been since their creation. They are literally nothing more than just a money laundering scheme for the federal government. They, it didn't. If it took you having the CEO expose herself as being dishonest and left-wing activist to notice that NPR and PBS were left-wing, you obviously never watched them for longer than 5 minutes. I mean, I'm 55. I can remember as a kid listening to PBS and wondering why they ran the stories and the documentaries they did. Because it was not fair in any way. It was not an equal liberum, I guess, equal footing or broadcast. They were not fair and balanced at all. And yeah. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on to some fun stuff here. Headhunter, federal prosecutors ruined my family to chase a fake win. By Amy Sterner Nelson, posted today, Friday the 13th. Which, by the way, I had a doctor's appointment today. Went and saw my doctor. And dude, I got violated. I got the finger. And it's... Yeah, I've had the finger before. But my God, man. Use a little less lube. Because my ass cheeks are still squishy. It's gross, man. Squishy ass cheeks from a prostate exam. Anyways, I digress. Headline after headline has slammed President Trump. Recent wave of pardons claiming they prove America now operates under a two-tier justice system. Newsflash, lady. It's always been that way, especially since 1913. Just so you know, it's nothing new. But the outrage is manufactured. These critics want you to forget that Trump was a target of the very system they now accuse him of controlling. I can't. You're only awake when it's your guy. You're only awake. you're dumb. I'm sorry. But it's been this way for a generation or more. And people that get in trouble in government, unless you're a low-level POS, piece of shit, low-level person, you're going to get the trouble. You're going to get the jail time. You're going to be the fall guy. But the upper echelon of political elite, yeah, you're not going to jail. You're not going to have any problems. You're going to live a nice, quiet life. You're going to take your millions or billions and go retire someplace and quietly live out the rest of your days. You're not going to get any kind of jail time or repercussions. The only repercussions is that you will be taken out of the spotlight of the news. That's your repercussions. Repercussions. Let's see here. How's this? Gen Z is taking Adulting 101 classes. This is real. Universities are capitalizing on Gen Z's apparent lack of knowledge of budgeting, personal health, and general happiness, offering classes to fill in the gaps. Yes, I shit you not. Gen Z is taking classes on how to be an adult. According to the University of California, Riverside, adulting encompasses learning how to succeed with basic needs, being ready for a career, and learning financial wellness. Not only is UC Riverside teaching the youth how to adult, but so are at least 4 other institutions. Newsweek reported Michigan State University and nonprofit JCI Santa Clarita have similar classes, while CBC News reported on 2 Canadian universities that are doing the same. Michigan State held monthly seminars in 2024 to, quote, conquer real-life skills like resume writing, building credit, and building healthy relationships. Even cooking basics and making jellies and jams made the cut for the Adulting 101 course. These are things that my generation, we learned in high school. It was called home economics, where we learned how to do budgets. Don't spend money you don't have. Learn how to build credit. We learned how to build healthy relationships through friendship, I can't pronounce the word, but camaraderie. Anyways, I digress. The main goal of the program is to provide, in a comment to Newsweek, a spokesperson for Michigan State said the main goal of the program is to provide resources that help teens and young adults navigate the complexities of everyday life as an independent adult. Okay, number 1. Is this not the parent's responsibility? That's the parent's job, is to prepare your child for the world. Number 2, this is a college course that's going on to your debt that you're never going to repay. So let's just think that in. Let that sink in. They're teaching you how to cook, how to write a resume, and how to build credit at the college level. We have found some of the most popular classes relate to financial literacy, credit, investing, banking, and budgeting, the spokesperson added. noting that attendance ranges from 50 to 1,000 people per session. UC Riverside had a more charitable spirit for their Adulting 101 IRL program. Some participants were given a $500 grant after attending the program, which was even made available to veterans, student parents, and homeless people. In March, JCI Santa Clarita offered high school seniors and juniors the opportunity to take on a fictional identity with a career and salary. Students decide if they want to max out their budget or be frugal while facing surprise situations like coming into extra cash or having to cover an unexpected expense, the listing read. That program was called Get Real Adulting 101. At the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, the Adulting Guide lists prioritizing one's mental and physical self as the number one skill in adult needs. This is followed by healthy eating and maintaining a tidy living space. At Toronto Metropolitan University, which changed its name in 2022 over vague notions of colonialism and diversity, a freshman student explained how his adulting course has helped him. I don't know how to change a tire. I don't have a car at all. I don't know how to sew. I don't know how to do a lot of things other than cooking, student Aldine Garcia told CBC. Garcia said he thought it was important to teach financial literacy to children because a lot of stuff involves money. Yes, that's true. But you don't know how to change a tire and you don't have a car. You're going to have problems later, dude. Because I say this because so many people think that this is how we're going to be 20, 30, 40 years from now. We're going to have everything handed to us. Everything's going to be free. That's not going to happen. The reality is, in the world today, as much stuff that we have that's just given to us, it's all going to go bye-bye. I mean, it's not. I'm hoping it's not going to. But realistically, we're in for a rude awakening coming up here soon. And it's going to come to blows. Because people want to be free. It's inherent human nature. And eventually enough people will get tired of the boot on their backs. And, they'll move on. You're going to have to know how to change a tire sometime. You're going to have a car, a mechanical car, not no electric vehicle, because that electric vehicle is not going to work when they turn the power off. It's not going to work when the internet. You're not going to be able to get on YouTube when they turn the power off and the internet. You're going to have that offline internet access, your internet in a box hotspot, to be able to find how to do stuff if you don't know how to do it. So just keep that in mind. Because just look at what they're doing today. Because this is how they control you.
In the shadows they're watching, every click, every like, every share. Big brother's on your screen, it's the end of your privacy, beware. Corporations with their grip so tight, governments with their eyes in the night, feeding you lies through the media's might. This digital age, they dim your light. They mold your thoughts, they shape your fears, dictate your dreams, control your tears. With every post they tighten the noose, the algorithm decides what you choose. This is how they control Functional dystopia we dwell, where the truth is buried under fake news hell. Big media, the puppeteers of pain, pulling strings, driving us insane. They know your secrets, they know your name. In this game, you're just a pawn in their aim. The revolution will not be televised, but in our hearts our freedom lies. They mold your thoughts, they shape your fears, dictate your dreams, control your tears. With every post they tighten the noose, the algorithm decides what you choose. This is how they control you. With every swipe they own you. This is how they control you. Manipulate, dominate, they got you. Stand up, break the chains, unplug from their matrix games. See the light behind the screen. We are more than the machine. They mold your thoughts, they shape your fears, dictate your dreams, control your tears. With every post they tighten the noose, the algorithm decides what you choose. This is how they control you. With every swipe they own you. This is how they control you. Manipulate, dominate, they got you.
An Air India commercial airliner carrying 242 people crashed within seconds of taking off, smashing into a residential area of Ahmedabad, India. Anyways, according to aviation authorities, the tragic airliner crash killed everyone on board the Boeing airliner, except one miraculous lone survivor. Air India flight AI 171 took off from the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad to London Gatwick at 1:38 p.m. local time on Thursday. The airliner, being a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, had lost height just seconds after departure and impacted a neighborhood to the southwest of the airport. Flight Radar 24 reported. The outlet noted that the Air India plane reached a maximum recorded barometric altitude of 625 feet before crashing on the ground. The commercial aircraft crashed into a building and burst into flames just moments after taking off from the airport. Boeing released a statement that read, "We are in contact with the Air India regarding Flight 171 and stand ready to support them. Our thoughts are with the passengers, crew, first responders, and all affected." Indian aviation officials told the BBC that rescue teams had recovered the digital flight data recorder, one of the aircraft's two black boxes, from the rooftop of the building, which is reported to be a facility of a medical college. An investigation into the crash has been launched by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. A team of U.S. investigators led by the National Transportation Safety Board will also travel to India to assist in determining what caused the deadly crash. Air India said in a statement that 241 people aboard the plane perished, with only a lone survivor of the aviation tragedy. Air India stated that the passengers on board were 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese nationals, and 1 Canadian national. CNN reported that the Air India crash is one of the deadliest air travel disasters since 2014, when Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 went missing. According to the Hindustan Times, The lone survivor has been identified as Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British national of Indian origin. 30 seconds after her takeoff, there was a loud noise, and then the plane crashed. It all happened so quickly, Ramesh recalled. When I got up, there were bodies all around me. I was scared. I stood up and ran. There were pieces of the plane all around me, Ramesh recounted in an interview with Hindustan Times from a bed at the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. Someone grabbed hold of me and put me in an ambulance and brought me to the hospital. Video has reportedly surfaced of a bloodied and limping Ramesh being escorted to an ambulance. According to Reuters, Ramesh told Indian state broadcaster DD News, "I don't believe how I survived. For some time, I thought I was going to die. But when I opened my eyes, I realized I was alive, and I tried to unbuckle myself from the seat and escape where I could. It was in front of my eyes that the air hostess and the others died." Ramesh explained, "The side of the plane I was in landed on the ground, and I could see that there was a space outside of the aircraft. So when my door broke, I tried to escape through it, and I did. The opposite side of the aircraft was blocked by the building wall, so nobody could have come out could come out of there." Ramesh had traveled to India with his brother AJ, who was seated in 11J on the right side of the plane before dying in the horrific plane crash. Aviation experts have weighed in on whether the location of Ramesh's seat helped him miraculously survive the plane crash that killed every other passenger. Ramesh was sitting in seat 11A, a window seat in the emergency exit row located in front of the wing. In this particular instance, because the passenger was sitting adjacent to the emergency exit, this was obviously the safest seat on the day. Ron Bartish, chairman of the Australia-based Avlaw Aviation Consulting, told Reuters. Mitchell Fox, the director of Flight Safety Foundation, told the outlet, "Each accident is different, and it is impossible to predict survivability based on seat location." The Wall Street Journal noted more than a dozen large plane crashes have had only one survivor and no clear pattern as to how or why, including in Ramesh's case. In 2015, Time magazine conducted a study of 17 airline accidents that occurred over 35 years by utilizing FAA data to determine if certain seats on commercial airliners are safer than others. The analysis revealed that the seats in the rear third of the aircraft had a 32% fatality rate. Seats in the front third had a 38% fatality rate, and seats in the overwing section had a 39% fatality rate. According to Time, looking at row position, we found that the middle seats in the rear of the aircraft had the best outcomes, 28% fatality rate. The worst faring seats were on the aisle in the middle third of the cabin. That was a 44% fatality rate. Alison Duquette, a spokeswoman for the Federal Aviation Administration, told the Huffington Post in 2017, "Each incident or crash is unique. There is no safest seat." So, dude, out of 242 people, one person walks away from a plane crash. Dude's got somebody watching out for him, for sure. No doubt about it. So that was just kind of a feel-good kind of thing to kind of uplift all this stuff. I didn't really have any fun news, but we've got some weird, scary AI news. Teachers, according to AI News, artificial intelligence news, what is this, .com or something like that. Teachers in England have been given the green light to use AI. So there's that. Good news. Guidance from the Department for Education, DFE, says AI can be used by school teachers in England, but it should only be for low-stakes tasks, such as writing letters to parents and marking homework. No. Yeah, I can see, but you best be checking it. Don't just let it write the letter and then email it off to the parent. Don't just let it check the homework. You best be checking the homework too. That AI could make shit up, you know. Oh shit. We got like 24 minutes left. So we're going to blow through these, and I want to touch on the major free and open source software fork that just happened recently, and touch on that, and we'll give a lead into tomorrow's show. AI's influence in the cryptocurrency industry. Markets values of the global artificial intelligence market. I think this article was written by AI. Markets values the global artificial intelligence market at $371.71 billion and expects it to exceed $24 billion in value by 2032. The statistic clearly demonstrates how AI technology can affect many sectors, including cryptocurrency. I've got a thing that I'm going to branch off of here in a little bit, so just keep this in mind. Cyber attacks are a growing concern in industries, and cryptocurrency is no exception. There are more than approximately 940,000 attacks daily worldwide in the cryptocurrency industry. Issues like private key compromises have surged in number, and compromises accounted for almost half of stolen cryptocurrency in 2024, with the total number of stolen funds rising to about 21% that year. Since bad actors reinvent themselves constantly, ignoring cybersecurity can have serious consequences, especially for cryptocurrency exchanges. One example may be the loss of security-conscious customers, according to cxscoop.com. Up to 21% never return to brands that suffer cybersecurity incidents. Okay, before we go much further, I know we've got AI now. I know it's really good. But nothing is going to protect you and your keys and your data more than what's between your ears, your brain. It's going to protect you more than any AI ever will. Don't let an AI manage your cryptocurrency. Don't let it manage your bank account. Just don't. There's been more people scammed by a prince in Africa than any other scam in the world. And the reason why is because people are still stupid enough to click on a link in their email. Don't let an AI near your crypto accounts or your keys or your bank account. Use your brain. It's pretty simple. It's better than any AI at all. Sam Altman, OpenAI, the superintelligence era has begun. OpenAI Chief Sam Altman has declared that humanity has crossed into the era of artificial superintelligence, and there's no turning back. We are past the event horizon. The takeoff has started, Altman states. Humanity is close to building digital superintelligence, and at least so far, it's much less weird than it seems like it should be. The lack of visible signs. Robots aren't wandering our high streets. Disease remains unconquered. Masks what Altman's characteristics as a profound transformation already underway. Behind closed doors in tech firms like his own, systems are emerging that can outsmart or outmatch general human intellect. In some big cases, ChatGPT is already more powerful than any human who has ever lived. Altman claims, noting that hundreds of millions of people rely on it every day and for increasingly important tasks. That doesn't mean it's smart. It means that you figured out a way to make humans dumber because they rely on something else to do the thinking for them. This is just another step in the road to regression that technology has put us on. We created machines to help us build things back in the Industrial Revolution. In the digital revolution, we have created digital systems to do our thinking for us. We're not making ourselves smarter. We're making ourselves dumber. That doesn't mean that the machines are getting smarter. It doesn't mean that the AI is smarter. At the end of the day, that AI is only going to know what it's been told. And it's only going to react with its predetermined and pre-programmed reactions. It's just us are becoming more dumb because we rely on it more and more and more. So the road to superintelligence is not actually the road to superintelligence. The road to super ignorance is more apt to what we are on. Now, this next one, the AI blockchain, it's an AI News artificial intelligence article. It's talking about putting the AIs on the blockchains, like Bitcoin and stuff like that. Personally, I think it's dumb as hell. I've got a story that I will talk about tomorrow. There is already a company that has AI on a blockchain, and I watched the demo video of it, and it's before the live audience, and this guy's using the AI to build apps and stuff for him, and it's right there on the thing. But he once in the hour-long presentation explains or talks about how it works, where the AI is actually at. I get that it's quote-unquote on-chain, but an LLM cannot live on a blockchain. There's questions that I have to ask, because the blockchain is encrypted. How do they get into the transactions, the developers, to troubleshoot problems? If it's encrypted, they can't see the response. How does this work? Who is hosting the LLMs? They've got to be at a data center somewhere. That means there's a power connection and a internet connection to them somewhere. You're not going to have an LLM that operates like BitTorrent, where it's spread across a bunch of people's computers. That's not going to be possible with what the hardware we have that normal everyday people use nowadays. An AI, to make it big enough, resourceful enough, and usable enough, takes a very beefy machine. A machine in somebody's house. You're not putting this on a laptop and running it. Not in a normal everyday laptop. You might be able to buy a $10,000 laptop that's got an NVIDIA GPU, dedicated GPU in it, and run an AI at a decent speed with comparable reactions and responses as you would Chat GPT. But the normal person that buys a $500 or $600 laptop is not going to run an AI at any kind of performance. My machine, Big Bitch, it's an all AMD machine. It does not have a big, great GPU. It's got a Ryzen 5, and Olama struggles with it. I can ask Olama a question, and within 2 or 3 minutes, I'll get a response, or at least the first part of a response. But I can't be doing anything else with my computer at the time. If I'm browsing the web or doing anything else at the time, it's going to be 5 minutes till I get a response. There is no way an AI is on a blockchain and able to work. But I'm sitting there watching this presentation, and every time he did something, it was boom, it was instant. It's faster than like Chat GPT or Grok, with its responses and what it's doing. And nobody questioned that. Not one person in the audience. In fact, I don't remember them taking any questions from the audience at all. But, every time he did something, the seals, felt like I was watching an Apple press conference about the new the new MacBook. Oh, look, it opens up. It's got hinges. It's... Yeah, no, I'll talk about that tomorrow. What was this one? Mistral AI challenges big tech with a reasoning model. Mistral AI's real-world reasoning for professionals. I mean, whoop-de-doo, I guess. I don't know. I think AI is going to be best if it's open source. But, it's what it is. I digress. So I've got 10 minutes left. And I really need to talk about this. Because tomorrow this is going to be big. The main topic of the show is Xorg. X11. If you don't know what Xorg is a protocol. It's open for open source software, and it manages how graphical interfaces like the windows, the buttons and menus and stuff all show up on your screen. It's pretty much only Unix systems like Linux, BSD. There's been a move for this thing called Wayland, and Wayland's been around for like 15 years. And it's still not finished yet. Xorg's been around for 20 plus, almost 30 years. Xorg and X11 they work. Wayland has been picked up over the last probably 5-10 years by a company called Red Hat, which is owned by IBM. And Red Hat has like 10,000 employees, and they actually pay their employees to work on open source projects. Wayland is one of them, and Xorg is another one. They want to bring in Wayland, and it's been pushed. It started mainly hard with Fedora, which is basically upstream Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So there are developers that are paid. Their job is to work on Fedora, and in return, Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Wayland. And I don't know why, but they want this push for Wayland. It makes no sense. But Fedora announced a couple of years ago that they will be eventually getting rid of Xorg and going only Wayland. And GNOME Desktop has said the same thing. KDE Plasma has hinted at it. Ubuntu hinted at it. But here recently, there is a developer that he's like the most prolific, busiest developer on working on the Xorg project the last couple of years. And he's pretty much the only one that's been submitting patches and pull requests and, solving bugs on Xorg. While the developers for Xorg has just been letting it die. They've been ignoring everything. And keep in mind that they are paid by Red Hat to work on this project. But Red Hat announced just last week, I think it was, that they were dropping Xorg and going Wayland only. And so they, that prolific developer, he's like, he doesn't want Xorg to die because there are literally millions of machines on the internet and in people's houses and homes and offices that rely on Xorg. Wayland will not work on the vast majority of these machines. In case you didn't know it, the internet relies on Linux. So if you kill Xorg, you're basically killing everything that's already in existence. Wayland will only work on newer hardware. So what this dude did was he forked to Xorg. And they didn't like that. So they kicked him off of the GitLab that Xorg was on. And he had to move it over to GitHub. Anyways, I digress. Long story short, he made some statements in the README about X Libre, which is the new fork, and it's the reason for it, mainly because they were being ignored and they were forcing it to die. So he forked it, and he also added in there that it is strictly non-DEI software, meaning that anybody can use it and all are welcome to use it. No corporate interests are allowed. Strictly only open source people actually working on it. No political, nothing. No politics. No code of conduct. No code of conduct. Nothing. Strictly software. And the monsters came out of the woodwork. The people that just want equality and inclusion excluded this guy. They deleted his user on Xorg or on Xorg's GitLab. They deleted the X Libre project. They went through, deleted all of his 900 some patches, and just basically ran him through the ringer. Meanwhile, he moved it over to GitHub. It's gotten over 1,600 stars, and it's been forked already, but like 50 times. So he's got people that are working with him, and I think that Red Hat and the freedesktop.org people, y'all fucked yourself on this. Because I think Ex Libre is going to blow you guys out of the water. And I hope Wayland dies. I hope Red Hat sees the light. And it's basically IBM doing the good old extend, extinguish, or embrace, extend, and extinguish thing. Typical corporate takeover of free software. But we'll get more into that tomorrow. Right now we got 4 minutes left, and I'm going to finish this all off with, where is it? The Phoenix? Yeah, the Phoenix. So, we'll catch you guys again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll chat at you later. Be good, be safe. Never ever stick your finger where you wouldn't stick your face.
Is on RM Radio. Own your data and rock your freedom.
In the heart of the night where shadows dwell, I found the fire deep within my hell. The darkness I once feared, now my ally. From these ashes I'll rise, fierce and spry. I've danced with demons, embraced the night. In my veins the inferno burns bright. No longer will I hide from what I am. I am the storm, the tempest, the damn. Inferno within, let it rage and let it roar. I am the phoenix, reborn from the core. Embrace the dark, let it fuel my flight. In this inferno, I find my might. The chains of light once bound me tight, but now I break them with my own might. In the depths of my soul, a fire grows from the darkness, a new light I chose. I'll not shy away from the shadow I cast, for in the dark I've found my last. I am the night, I am the fire. In this inferno I'll never tire. With every scar, with every fall, I rise again, I heed the call. For in this inferno I am free to be the darkness, to be the me. Inferno within, let it rage and let it roar. I am the phoenix, reborn from the core. Embrace the dark, let it fuel my flight. In this inferno, I find my might. So let the world see the flames in my eyes, the darkness within.